You see Masada rising up 900 feet above the ground level.
Will we ever be there? Maybe that's...
On top of the mountain, they had quite a few structures. Most of them date back to Herod's time. Before Herod came here to build his huge fort, it was a local garrison built by the previous Hasmonean kings.
Wendy, there they are. There's Tom. Yeah, Tom, don't worry.
I think they were ahead.
It was hard for me to imagine coming into Masada any other way. I waved to the folks going overhead, but it's unbelievable to be able to look around and the drops, the roughness of it. It's a geology lesson.
It is Herod who introduces here big palatial mansions. Around the whole mountain, they built this casemate wall, the double line of walls. In case of emergency and a war, you fill up the space between these two walls with rocks and dirt, and you get a very thick wall that cannot that easily be penetrated.
I wanted to climb Masada because personally, physically, I wanted to do it. And I felt like the hardship of climbing the hills was good after everything we've been through. It's almost like a spiritual uphill journey that, you know, as we kept going, I kept thinking about that and thinking about everything that has happened on the trip personally and, you know, with everybody here at Hen. And so I just felt like it was something I really wanted to do. I would do it again in a minute. I would walk down the hill if we were walking down the hill. I feel really good.
Shalom Aleichem, Avenu Shalom Aleichem.
Singing when we got to the top, that to me was the most joyous thing. Sandra taught us all the songs, suggested that we sing as we come over the top, and greeted everybody else, the other part of our cohort. That was a wonderful experience.
It's really neat. It was fun. Yeah, we did it. We did it.
We were waving, yeah, we were waving. I could see like Tom and everybody.
And then traveling to the Dead Sea and swimming and playing and
laughter, hilarious laughter. It was release, it was joy, it was the excitement of the new shared experience. And then the mud bath and washing it off and laughing again. And we really were shedding old skin. We were shedding those ashes of Auschwitz, and we were emerging cleansed. And we were emerging as a community, a group of educators, people who needed to tell. You know, the Haggadah that Jacob was talking about. We are people who need to tell the story now, and we have a community that will support us to do that.
The Dead Sea, the lowest place on the face of planet Earth, Moab Mountains, the Judean Mountains, further down south beyond Masada, Sodom and Gomorrah, the oasis of En-Gedi, further up Jericho. The Jordan River goes into the Dead Sea between the Judean Mountains and the mountains of Moab. The Jordan River starts at the foothill of the highest mountain in the Middle East, Mount Hermon, at 11,000 feet above sea level. This is the site of the covenant between God and the Israelites. Remember, it's a very, very mystical, spatial moment when Abraham takes the pigeons and then there is a torch with God's fire passing between the pieces, and it's the most amazing covenant and treaty between God and Abraham and his offsprings. Very dramatic moment. Joshua, crossing the Jordan River, crossed in the Jordan River right before it goes into the Dead Sea. John the Baptist baptized the people right here in this area. 2 minutes before the fresh water, the living water of the Jordan River, go to die in the Dead Sea. And John says, repent now, before it's too late. So the place has lots of significance, lots of meaning in many, many ways.
We kept looking forward, 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 but every now and then if you turned around and you looked back, you got this really interesting perspective and a really different perspective. So I started thinking about, isn't it interesting that we have to look back to get the whole picture of moving forward?
So I thought this would be a very special setting because everybody has special moments in their life and you have done very unique things, but I don't think.
Watching the connections happen, watching both people who were, clearly we've all been deeply pained and struggled with looking and witnessing the camps and being at Auschwitz and being at Majdanek and all of that. But when people both cry together and then laugh together, I think that's the human connection.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear.
I thought I was coming on it as an individual. And by the time I'm almost ready to leave here, I'm realizing that I'm leaving as part of a community. When the Jewish people left, they left following a book. I feel like I'm following a people. I feel like I'm following the Jewish community. I feel like I'm following an educational community. And without this trip, I never would have had the opportunity to do that and to grow as a teacher and as a human being.
Safety. We feel safe with each other. We respect each other. There's such great levels of love and patience with each other. It's a place where we can say what is in our hearts, probably be honest more with ourselves in an attempt to be honest with each other. I think that's really what this particular group of people is about. Constantly seeking and finding ourselves in our experiences.
I think this is nice. This little environment that we're in right now, this is a nice way to end. We're slowing down, which I was hoping that would happen, but I think it'll all hit us soon when we get to the airport, that it's all coming to an end. We're anxious to get home and see our families and share our stories, but we've got a lot of work to do. We've got a lot ahead of us still. So it's just the beginning. We're at an end, but we're at the beginning too.